Welcome to the Engineerable channel. I'm Daniel Solbuilt, and in this video I'm going to show you how to retrofit these rather flimsy and sometimes useless helping hands that are designed for jewelry making, where you hold pieces of jewelry in here and solder them with a torch, and then it has a stone base that's resistant to fire and heat. For this project, I'm going to be using these inexpensive but very nice flexible adjustable arms that are designed to hold dial indicators and high precision tools for making measurements. But the use is not limited to that. They can hold whatever you want them to, right up until they collapse. In a previous video, I showed how to build these superior helping hands to do electronics work, to solder wires, to hold small pieces together as you're trying to glue them. Really, whatever small things you want to hold with these are perfect for that. And so they have these magnetic bases on them, and if you use a steel plate, you can just relocate the magnetic base wherever you want to on the steel plate, lock it down. And I walked the extra mile of OCD perfectionism and added a bearing in the thumb wheel to make the motion ultra smooth and back drivable without loosening or tightening. And then I added some alligator clips to the endy thingy. So this makes a great stable setup for soldering or desoldering on a PCB. And this setup itself could already easily be used for jewelry work. But if you already have one of these, it's going to be even easier to just replace these arms with the precision arms and then keep the clamps, which are already designed for soldering jewelry. The design of these arms and joints is simple, but it's kind of hopeless and very limited in range of motion. You can move it to a lot of different positions. The example here is like, this is the limited range of motion right here. I can't even get it to like the center there. Whereas this arm can reach many different positions. The other problem with these arms is they need to be tightened with a screwdriver, and they're always getting loose too. All right, let's go ahead and take off these old arms. The first thing I'm going to do is take off the clamps, remove those things. It would be super convenient if the ball end of this clamp fit into this hole right here, but it doesn't. So it would not take a lot of filing to remove enough material here, though, for this to fit. There are several other ways this could be attached. We can make a dovetail groove in this piece and then attach it onto here. I'm going to try to find the simplest way to adapt this without using complex machine tools. So it's going to be pretty easy to attach the arms to this base because these have an M5 or probably similar to 1032 thread on there, and they barely come out the bottom, which means we're barely going to be able to get a nut on there, but it's probably going to be just enough. The other option is to drill a new hole and thread it with a 1032 tap and then screw this in there, and that will give a little bit more secure mounting. This is such a close fit onto this ball. I tried to stretch this out a little bit to get it to fit in there, but it wasn't quite enough. So I could get real fancy schmancy with this and use the lathe to turn this down to the perfect size for this. But what do you do if you don't have a lathe? Well, you use the next best thing, which is a file. In fact, every machine tool before mills and lathes was just a file. So carefully file down this ball here. So it didn't take a whole lot of filing, just around the outside perimeter, until it was small enough to fit inside the hole on the dial indicator holder. So now I have a way to hold the clamp, and I can tighten this up here, and it holds the original clamp securely. You know, although it is at a side angle from this piece, it's actually nice because it makes it more compact than if you had it coming straight out, because if you have it coming straight out, it makes it really long. If you put it at this angle, it shortens it quite a bit. So the second ball took a lot more filing down to fit inside of this hole, which goes to show that not all balls are created equal. The final step is attaching the arms to the base, and so I have some 1032 or M5 nuts. Either one will work for this. And place the thread through the pre-existing hole there and screw that nut on. And boom! We've got an amazing pair of helping hands for soldering jewelry or whatever else you're into that involves hot stuff and melting and burning things. But now check out the range of motion of these arms. So they can move to any position on this plate. Unlike the other arms that had a very limited range of motion, you can go up high, come down low. You can do whatever you want with these. Very flexible setup. If you want to take it a step further of OCD perfection, you can do a bearing mod like the skate bearing mod, or I have an even simpler thrust bearing mod video. Check that out. And that allows you to back drive the arm without it tightening or loosening, like these arms that are unmodified. If you back drive it like this way, it gets really tight. This way it gets super loose and floppy. See, it doesn't hold itself up anymore. So this solves that problem, and it also makes the precision of tightening a lot higher, so you can tighten it to where it feels perfect for moving around and holds its place.